Humans aren't born out of laying around on their asses. We've been born out of conquering a world. We're the dominant species. We built all this. We're powerful and we're beautiful and we're ready to build the next level of civilization in God's plan. But you must stop bowing to those who want to make you a victim. You must become the victor. If you love God and you want to build a pro-human future, then you are an enemy of the New World Order and Satanism. They want us shut down because we have the spirit. I'm jacked into the source. I know the secret, and I want to see you empowered. But you have to believe in yourself first. This is the truth, and everyone knows it.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, if I were to tell you that Kotaku was a disgusting smear merchant platform that didn't have an ounce of credibility, I'm sure that most of you would say, well, absolutely. However, they've really outdone themselves because they published an article about Mr. Beast that was not just a fabrication where they took an element of the truth and then they twisted it into something that was salacious that they could use. No, they literally just outright made up a story. And the story that they made up was that Mr. Beast said, life is so much easier when you're broke. Now, this got millions of views across the internet. This swept across like wildfire. And for the past little bit, Mr. Beast has had to deal with this because people thought that he actually said this. But not only is it not true, Mr. Beast came out and said a news site lied and said, I said life is so much easier when you're broke, which I didn't say. Now I'm waking up to millions of people believing the lie and hating me. Being famous is so much fun. And so he goes, here's what I actually said. Such a shame that only a small percentage of people that saw the slanderous article will see this.
It's really killing me, to be honest. It's like so much easier when you're, bro, if you don't travel constantly, really killing me, to be honest. It's like so much easier when you're, bro, if you don't.
It's so much easier when you're, bro, if you don't travel. There is no way that you could listen to that and interpret it in any good faith way to come to the conclusion that they did. He says, to be honest, it was like so much easier when you're bro.
Don't travel constantly. Life is so easy when you just wake up in your own bed and like waking up in your own bed and working 15 hours in, you know, your office, whatever. So easy compared to.
So if you heard that, he doesn't even say broke. He says bro. And the context is he's talking about how messed up he is from traveling for 2 weeks straight and that he prefers working in the office himself. So yeah, nothing to do with broke. But this entire article misquotes him, then uses it as clickbait in the title when he didn't even say anything about being broke. Just excellent journalism from Kotaku here. Excellent journalism. The article's been up for over a week and still hasn't been corrected. Hundreds of thousands of people are shitting on him for something he didn't even say. Who would have thought Slop Live does?
Yeah, and Heels versus Babyface fell for this. A lot of other people fell for this. They went in on him, didn't even watch the article. Yeah, it's absolutely terrible. And this is par for the course of why we despise, the legacy media, but also why we despise games media. These people are obsessed with their false narratives, with their grandstanding, their clickbait. This is what they want. They got a ton of eyeballs on this by outright lying. And guess what? There's going to be no ramification to Kotaku. Unless Mr. Beast files a lawsuit, which I hope he does. Because that was liable. That was liable. There is no way that anyone could, after watching that clip, come to the conclusion that Mr. Beast said what they accused him of saying. Because it wouldn't make sense in the context of the conversation. Where he's talking about travel and he says, it's so much easier when you're broke. No, he said, It's so much easier when you're, and then he got exasperating and goes, bro, you know, just thinking about it, he's like, bro, it's so frustrating. This is the media that we have to deal with all the time. And I can only imagine what it's like. You know, I've had people lie on my channel before, you know, with the I Stand With Vic stuff and things like that. But you know, I've even had Moist Critical make a video about me that was completely salacious and just ridiculous and dishonest. Or Moist Critical called me a racist because I mentioned the fact that a woman working behind the drive-through of a McDonald's was black. You know, I've had retards come after me. You know, although I will say in the case of Moist Critical, you know, that guy, his opinion doesn't really mean much to me because he lost a debate with Sneeko. I'll mention this every time I mention Moist Critical. He lost a debate with Sneeko where Sneeko was taking the position that the age of consent should be abolished, and that, you know, if a family says that a 12-year-old and an 18-year-old can get married, that's perfectly fine. Moist Critical lost that debate because he's a retard and because he actually, twice he confirmed this, he believes that a 9-year-old should be able to consent to physical castration and to be able to take hormones to transition. That is the position that Moist Critical had. And then when he got pushback on it, he goes, well, no, I had an impromptu debate and I didn't really mean that. So basically, he got exposed for what he actually believes and then had to walk it back because he was getting a whole bunch of shit and then blamed it on the fact that it was an impromptu debate. Yeah. Oh, God. Don't even get me started on that. I could do 10 videos on that. I've never once accidentally entered into a debate and then made a morally indefensible, evil, downright atrocious statement like that. But anyway, yeah, this is the stuff that we have to deal with. It's why I despise the gaming press as much as I do. It's why I despise the legacy media as much as I do. And why I just don't like these fake, phony streamers. For me, they're all part of the same gross bowl of inauthentic garbage. And so, yeah, I can only imagine what it must be like for Mr. Beast. No, don't get me wrong. I've done videos critical of Mr. Beast before. I think his handling of the situation with Chris Tyson, I think that was horrible. I think, you know, so I have my criticisms of Mr. Beast. But that's based on substantive things that were actually done and things that were actually done, provable things, and not something like this. And my thing is, and some people may disagree with me, but if all of these people that these individuals hate are so bad, why would you need to go to the lengths to lie and make up stuff about them? If the people you hate are really as bad as you say they are, why do you have to invent things? For example, I think Hamas Piker, is genuinely one of the worst people I've ever seen on the internet. I don't have to make up quotes that they've said to make them seem worse than they actually are, because things that they've actually said and are recorded on video are worse than anything I could probably come up with. I don't need to make things up to justify my hatred of Hassan. My disdain for Hassan is based on what he's actually said, what is recorded and on the internet for everyone to see. America deserves 9/11, man. Talking about the brave Mujahideen heroes. Talking about supporting Hezbollah and Hamas. Over and over and over, there are videos that this guy uploads that demonstrate that he is an evil, irredeemable, subhuman piece of garbage that should be deported from this country. Should be deported from this country, and that he is a terrorist. I don't need to make that up. That's video, recorded. But it seems like all of these people that claim to have the moral high ground and that they're so much better than these other terrible people, it seems like all they do is make things up. All they do is take things out of context. If the people that you don't like need to be taken out of context in order for you to get to the point where you feel justified in hating them, that's pretty pathetic. And it demonstrates that they're probably not the bad guy. You're probably the bad guy. This is so ridiculous. And I do feel bad for Mr. Beast in this. Because I think that criticizing people for valid things is valid. I think criticizing Mr. Beast for Chris Tyson, I think that's perfectly valid. Perfectly valid. But then, at the same time, making things up about somebody. Or it's like getting mad because, oh, Mr. Beast, he cured the blindness of like 1,000 kids. Like, I cannot understand the mentality of the mentally ill and the morally pathetic. I can't understand it. Because even though I think that his handling of the Chris Tyson situation was very bad, I can still acknowledge the fact that this guy has done a ton of good. But it's like, not only can these people not acknowledge any of the good stuff, they have to invent the bad. They do this with Trump, by the way. All the time. Do you remember that lie, the very fine people on both sides hoax? Where the media and the Democrat apparatus tried to frame this, and they still use this. They used this in the 2024 elections. They ran ads about this. That Trump said that there were very fine people on both sides. When Trump very clearly said that there are very fine people on both sides, but I'm not talking about the white supremacists. He literally clarified in the very next sentence, like, these people are so dishonest and so malicious and so mendacious. They don't have the ability. They don't have the ability to show the full context, because if they do, if they show anything more than the 2-second clip, it reveals their entire worldview is a lie, which is the same thing here. Mr. Beast did not say life is so much easier when you're broke. He did not say that. He did not imply that. There was no implication of any of that. But he's been subjected to all manner of just brutal commentary because of it. For no reason. And so I want to show you, here's the clarification. They did correct it. It says correction 3:125. A prior version of the article incorrectly quoted Mr. Beast as saying, easier when you're broke, when speaking about the challenges of his current lifestyle. The misquote came from a transcript provided by PR for the Diary of a CEO podcast ahead of the episode airing. Mr. Beast has since clarified his statement in a post on X Twitter, and we've updated the quote. And they don't even have the respect to apologize. So you got a transcript of this from a PR firm. You got it wrong. You didn't even wait for the thing to come out to verify it. But you're perfectly comfortable running a smear piece, a hit piece, without double checking it. You got the views. You got the money, you got what you wanted, and now what? Now you run this little thing that no one's going to see. It's pathetic. It really is pathetic. I'm so tired of these people. I'm so tired of these people and their disingenuous assertions, their snide insinuations, their just depraved, degenerate, bottom-feeding attitudes and behaviors. I'm just so sick of it. I really am. It's like, you can criticize Mr. Beast, and I think that's right. You can criticize anyone. But to make things up in something that is so immediately disprovable. Pathetic. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for watching my channel, for supporting. The support has been overwhelming. We're almost at 16,000 subscribers, which is insane. I got to tell you, when I started this channel, I had 0 subscribers. I can't even when I got my first 50 subscribers and then my first 100, I couldn't even process it. I'm like, people really started to tune in, and now we're at almost 16,000. That is nuts. And so I want to show my appreciation for all the support. The people that give financially, you're the best. I appreciate you. Never will require that, by the way. The people who watch, the people who share, the people who like and stuff, I appreciate your support too. It's all invaluable, and it means a lot. Anyway, that'll do it, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.